The Battle of Angar, a costly U.S. victory against Japanese resistance. In history, there are many battles in which less is more, but the most typical one is the Battle of Angar Island during World War II, which took place on a small island and was fought by the U.S. and Japan. And as we all know, Japan is a warlike nation, which was also fully manifested in this war. The U.S. Army was the world's superpower at that time, so its weaponry and the strength of its army must have been much stronger than that of the Japanese army. In this war, the U.S. Army was very determined, sending a total of more than 21,000 troops, in addition to a number of fighter jets, tanks, and other high-end combat weapons. But in this battle, Japan only sent a brigade of infantry. This brigade of infantry, only less than 2,000 people, Japan's weapons than the United States of America, low-end a lot. They use our sniper rifles, submachine guns, and mortars. This number, as well as combat equipment disparity of the war, but also lasted a month, which can be seen how tenacious Japanese troops, how difficult to fight. The U.S. Army began to land on the island, and before they landed on the island, they sent out several warships to attack the island, firing artillery on a large scale. The Japanese only sent a brigade to counterattack here, surely cannot withstand the U.S. so by the U.S. forces were repulsed, and eventually all the Japanese troops were forced to a small island inside. In the beginning of the war, the Japanese army has suffered heavy casualties. Later, the scale of the war was gradually reduced to the Japanese troops in the cave and the U.S. Army resistance outside the cave. Fighting in the cave is easy to defend and difficult to attack. The U.S. Army had no choice but to use the flamethrower, the Japanese troops in the cave to strafe. However, they totally did not expect that the Japanese army is so stubborn, using all kinds of methods, they are still fighting to the death, never surrender. Soon a month passed, and the Japanese army gradually ran out of ammunition and food. No matter what, it was a death. The remaining Japanese army, then Huo, went out and took the bayonet and the U.S. Army to do it. In this war, although the Japanese troops were all wiped out, but the U.S. Army also paid 18 times the price.